Hey, Dr. Marco here. I'm from the Chiropractic Source. I'm at my home right now. I wanted to take some time to continue putting out some positive information because it's really easy to get stuck in the fear mindset because of everything that's going on. There's no doubt that there's a virus pandemic going on right now, and you have to be aware. You can't be blind to it. But you gotta try to make sure that you could still continue to do things that are positive in your life. It is very important that we continue to follow the guidelines of social distancing and washing your hands and, staying home if you're not essential to work. Those are really important, details that you wanna follow. But you also want to make sure to take this time, since you have the time, to work on yourself and work on the people around you on trying to be as positive and as strong as possible. So I've already recorded a couple videos about some immune boosting supplements that we could put in our body to try to boost our immunity. So I wanted to just kind of discuss again some of those things, especially the ones that I'm personally taking. Because I also am taking it for myself, and I'm also having my family take it. So, the most important thing to know is the people that are the most at risk right now are the ones that are immune compromised. So if you're immune compromised, you'd want to try to do things to boost your immunity. And me being a type 1 diabetic, I'm technically an immune compromised individual, but I'm living a lifestyle that is making sure that I don't go down that road that typical diabetics go towards. So I limit the sugars in my life. Sugar is one of the biggest drivers to chronic inflammation. It's one of the biggest drivers to the breakdown of our body and the breakdown of our immunity. So one of the biggest things that you could do is limit your carbohydrates and limit your sugars and try to have more whole food, plant-based, low glycemic fruits. So dietary wise, if you could just try to get in the mindset of having less sugar and more natural growing fruits, vegetables, and fish, etc., that is a great way to think about nutrition. But then you can add some supplements in there. I've already discussed some of the vitamins that are important at this time period. One important vitamin being vitamin D. Right now I'm outside in this beautiful weather right now, and right now I'm in the shade, but there's sunlight right there. I could go in the sunlight right now and get some development of vitamin D in my body. Vitamin D is one of the best things that you could possibly do and put in your body right now, especially because it's a really important supplement, especially for immunity and stuff like that. We have my baby in the background, so sorry if there's any external sounds, but I'm trying to do this on the spot and try to educate as many people as I could. So vitamin D is important to put in your body in a supplement form. I personally take one that's called an 8 choice. This is a combination of omega-3, vitamin D, and vitamin A, which we're going to talk about in a moment. But this is personally what I take. If you wanted to get more information about it, you could always email me. You could email me at drmarcoferrucci@gmail.com. And that's definitely something that we could discuss more later. But I personally take that one. The amount of dose that I recommend of vitamin D is based on weight. So I base it based on, for every 30 pounds that you weigh, I recommend about 1,000 IUs. So if you weigh 120 pounds, you probably need about 4,000. If you're weighing 200 pounds, you're probably looking more towards 5,000 or 6,000 IUs. So I take the liquid form. I take a tablespoon a day, and that's my personal choice. But you could take it in a liquid form, you could take it in a pill form, and all that stuff. So vitamin D is a great supplement that you could add into your lifestyle. And at this point right now, it's starting to get nicer in the New Jersey and New York area. So you can also take time to go out in the sun and go take a walk or something like that. You need at least 20 minutes to a half hour of sunlight to get the maximum amount of vitamin D for the day. So that's a great supplement that you could start to look into. Vitamin A is another great thing. Vitamin A, not a lot of people are talking about it, but vitamin A is an extremely important supplement in order for us to function at our best. It lines the walls of our epithelial, which basically is the tissues that lines our gut. It lines our blood-brain barrier, etc. So there's definitely some great aspects of vitamin A. It also is a part of the immune function. It helps to develop our T cells and our antibodies and all that stuff. So vitamin A is a great supplement to do as well. It's in my personal omega-3 one, but you could get it in a lot of your fresh leafy greens. Your vegetables that are in the greener source are higher in vitamin A. You also would like to add in there some probiotics. Probiotics are our gut flora. This is just an example of one I take, but you could take a lot of different types of probiotics. But probiotics are going to be the good bacteria that's in your gut. It's definitely something that everybody should be taking on a regular basis. It helps to be the first line of defense when you start ingesting your food. Those bacteria help to kill some of the foreign substances that we don't want in our body. So we talked about vitamin D and vitamin A. Let's talk about omega-3. Omega-3 is one of the strongest anti-inflammatories in the body. You could get it in fish, you could get it in nuts and seeds, you could get it in avocados, you get it in a lot of different sources. So adding those type of foods in your diet would be great as well, but you could also get it in a supplement form. So I recommend approximately 3,000 milligrams a day, in which you want to have about 2,000 of that 3,000 to be what's called EPA. If you look at the back of this, I could look here and I can see that there's a certain amount of EPA, there's a certain amount of DHA, and there's a certain amount of other omega-3s as well. The common ones that are most spoken about are EPA and DHA. So your EPA, you want it to be about 2,000 milligrams a day. That's the aspect of omega-3 that are anti-inflammatory to the body. So a lot of the worst disorders in the world are having underlying chronic inflammation. So that's definitely something that would help to decrease that. The other aspect of omega-3 is DHA. That's good for neurological development and neurological function. So that I recommend 1,000 milligrams. So you're looking at a total of 3,000, in which you want the ratio to be about a 2-to-1 ratio of 2,000 being EPA, 1,000 being DHA. So we got omega-3 that I take. We got vitamin D, vitamin A, and then everybody's very commonly being told right now, especially with this pandemic, to start taking vitamin C. Vitamin C is a great antioxidant. It's a great immune booster, and there is even reports out there that are starting to say that people are even being treated with high doses of vitamin C during this pandemic. So vitamin C has been a great source of fuel as well, especially for the immune system. I recommend, at the minimum, for men, approximately 900 to 1,000 milligrams. Women, you could get probably 700 to 800. That's at the minimum. But during this time period, when you're trying to boost your immune system, you could go higher. I'm taking currently right now 2 tablets of this, which is going to be 2,000 milligrams. My wife is doing 1,000 milligrams at least. Vitamin C, you got to be careful. Obviously, you don't want to take too much. If you're starting to take too much, one of the worst signs you'll get is maybe some diarrhea, some bowel issues. So that's kind of when you know you're getting too much. But I wouldn't try to do much more than, maybe 2,000 to 3,000 a day. Around that level would be a great amount of stuff. And then the last but not least is just a basic multivitamin. I currently take this one. It's called Innate Response. It's a whole food vitamin, meaning that it's the majority of what is in here is made from food sources. It's not processed in a lab or anything like that. So, for example, like I could look in here and I could say, how much vitamin C is in here. I'll read it right here. Vitamin C, it has 200 milligrams, but it says it's ascorbic acid from organic oranges. So it's actually from oranges rather than making it from a different source. For instance, vitamin A in here is beta carotene from carrots. So I know this is coming from food, and that's a better source of nutrients. Your body's going to process that better, rather than getting a generic multivitamin that might not be made from food, and your body doesn't process it very well. So those are just a couple of the supplements that I'm currently taking. I'm having my family take it as well to make sure that they're strong and healthy as well. But during this time period, just try to be positive. I know it's very hard. You're stuck at home. You're not doing the things that you would normally do on a regular basis, so it's very hard. But try to stay positive. I know the news is a hard thing to stay away from, but try to just take what you can and don't turn that into inner fear, because the inner fear is going to be very damaging to you, and then you're going to start to think that you have no more hope, you know, and once you lose hope, that's when you lose a lot of confidence in yourself, a lot of health will diminish, etc. So stay positive, don't get too scared. We will get out of this, whether it's a couple of weeks or a couple months or 6 months, however long it takes, we will get out of it. This has happened before in the past. So just stay positive, stay strong, stay healthy.